Grand rising or whatever time of day it is you're watching me. Welcome to Revolution Sundays with yours truly, A.G. Green Sr. And it's good. It's great to be with you yet again. Let me know if you can see and hear me well. Let me know if you can see and hear me well. So glad to see everyone on today. Can you see and hear me well? Let's see, I'm freezing a little bit. We'll get through this computer situation. Can you see and hear me well? Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the feedback. And grand rising to you, our resident therapist. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Tag, share, and text. Text, share, and tag. Tag, share, and text. Text, share, and tag. What a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day it is. And how do I know it's wonderful? Because I'm co-creating it. I spoke it. Spoke from what I know, and what I know in consciousness is who I am, and who I am is identity. And the universe always recognizes the identity we present to it. What an honor and a privilege it is to be connecting with you now. Almighty, we're so thankful and grateful for this moment that's been granted to us. I thank you for every spirit, every soul that graces the platform, whether live or in replay. Let this knowledge be felt, that love be felt and experienced, that clarity, context, and understanding be experienced, be lived, and be known by those who connect with the message, the tribe, and the messenger. And we thank you. You're leading and guiding us into all truth. And we remember and thank the Almighty for Yeshua, Hamashiach, Yeshua, Christos. Thank you for his power, his consciousness, his way, his name. And it is so. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. What a wonderful day. What a powerful encounter that's scheduled for us on this particular day. Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ, through the Christos, through the Christ mind, who strengthens me. I want you to type in the comment section, I can. We'll have moments in our lives if we wonder, if we'll have moments in our lives, if will be a word we'll consider, if it's possible, if it's doable, if I have enough in me. But I love this text because it reminds us of an eternal divine partnership that exists whether you or I know it or take advantage of it or not, and that is the partnership with Yeshua, with Jesus Christos. We operate with his heart and with his mind. And in all honesty, when we access our divinity and the fusion of our oneness with God, the creator, source, and sustainer, who is the giver of the Christ mind, I can is possible every living second. That's it. I can. I feel that. I feel that. I testify to my own self. I can. I can. Sometimes the battle rages, as they say, between our ears, but I can. Yes, I can, I can, I can, and I can. I'm not alone in my I can. There is something driving, pushing, propelling, empowering my ability to rise, declare and decree that I can. So good to have a partnership with an eternal being who legitimately exists, is real, and partners with me. I love the Ephesians 3:29, to him that is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think. It's according to the power that worketh in us. Numerous other collections of texts. Where your treasure is, your heart is. The power of who and what we are lives on the inside of us. It emanates from us. It emanates from the source. It emanates from the divine. It emanates from the creator. At all times, you should be reminding yourself, I am powerful. Come on, type it in the comment section. I am powerful. And I encourage you from time to time, walk through your home while you're driving down the street, sitting on the toilet, in the shower, on your job, just declare and decree, I am powerful. The power rests in you, it exists in you, it is a part of you. And it is time that we consistently and persistently own the power, creator, source, sustainer. Let there be a keen awareness of the power that we are, the power that we possess. Let it be more frequently in our conscious thoughts, more frequently in our awareness of being. And I bless you, and I thank you, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. On one occasion, Yeshua walked through a crowd. It appears that he altered the density of his body where he was untouchable and literally walked with their physical bodies. When we start understanding and owning the power on a daily basis, we'll start understanding and knowing that things only touch us that we're allowed to touch us. We can walk directly through our enemies. We can walk directly through pre-scheduled ambushes for us and come out victorious. It's time. Your time is now to embrace how God, the source, the divine, the creator, created you. It's time for you to own that. Don't forget, follow me, patreon.com/AG Green Now. That's patreon.com/AG Green Now. Join our spiritual community there. Vibe with your tribe. We're ever growing and ever evolving in that space. And don't forget to subscribe to the various places I have a social media presence online. I'm so glad to see your comments, your likes, your hearts, so forth and so on. All right. And again, if you missed Wednesday night, make sure you visit our Patreon community. It has been upgraded and being reorganized even as I speak. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of resources, bits and pieces of resources, or I should say, data and resources available to you to study to your heart's content, to learn, to grow and expand to your heart's content. The next time you're tempted to scroll mindlessly, scroll mindfully and go to the Patreon community. I want you to type it in the comment section. I'm going to scroll mindfully. Come on, type it in the comment section. I'm going to scroll mindfully. We talk about mindfulness. We talking about being mindful. That's you scrolling with an awareness that I am going to allow myself to be guided or going to point myself in the direction of resources and content that's going to uplift me, that's going to strengthen me, that's going to educate me, that's going to inform me, that's going to inspire me. I'm going to scroll mindfully. Yes, They talk about mindless scrolling. I'm talking about mindful scrolling. Our Patreon community is an awesome, awesome place to scroll mindfully or to mindfully scroll. Thank you so much for those who are able and have been keeping up with the bits, with the data we have been sharing there, the information, and I hope that it is strengthening and empowering to you. All right, let me check in on y'all. Let me check in on y'all. Let a brother, there's a gentleman I knew I was raised with, and he would mispronounce the word brother. He would say brother. Let a brother check in on you by asking you, what are you eating and sipping, and how are you feeling? I just finished my mushroom coffee, and I'm so thankful and grateful for peace in this moment. A calm, collected, settled, established, grounded peace. Tell me, family, what are you eating and sipping, and how are you feeling in a moment? I look forward to this because I get a chance to check in on you, see what you're doing, and then, get a view as to what y'all be eating at certain times of the day. Let's see what we got here. Cold coffee. I'm thinking that coffee must be good for you to drink it cold. From time to time, I've done it as well. And of course, they've got cold, coffee that is cold these days. So our resident mystic, Wesley Turk, says cold coffee. See, my Krista says, let's see, well, that's hit the wrong button. That's my niece Hillary, feeling pretty good. I just opened my eyes, so haven't ate anything. I'm planning to make a seafood boil today. Look at you. Watch out. Watch out. Then my Krista says, making my coffee and feeling great. Let's see here. Monica says, just finished my mushroom coffee as well. Bacon and hash browns in the oven. Sounds delicious. Sounds delicious. Anybody else want to tell us what you're eating and sipping, and how are you feeling? Let's see. Our resident therapist says, black coffee and bacon. I'm relaxed and peaceful. All right. Sounds good. Thank you all for sharing today what you are eating and what you are sipping. And again, I want to remind you, without going into the details, that your Patreon community is set up to optimize your evolution, transformation, and ascension experience. Make sure you visit there often. Use the collection tabs so that you can read or watch videos or information on various different topics that we've placed there specifically for you, and new bits and pieces of information that's coming in the upcoming weeks for you. Make sure you check your email, and make sure you stay in touch with your spiritual community. I want you to type in the comment section, it's time to vibe with my tribe. Come on, type that in the comment section. It's time to vibe with my tribe. Type that in the comment section. It's time to vibe with my tribe. It is time to vibe with my tribe. I want you to type that in the comment section for us. It's time to vibe with my tribe. Just in case you didn't know, now you do know. You do and must and should realize that you cannot vibe with everyone and everything and everybody. I want you to understand that. And I have learned down through the years that when you start growing and expanding, even as it relates to blood-related members, blood-related family members, sometimes a distance is created, and it's not you creating it intentionally. It is your growth and your expansion that causes you to start moving a different way, viewing things a different way, living in a different dimension, living from different perspectives. And so we must learn how, from a spiritual, psychological, emotional perspective, to stay connected to those who are growing and expanding in areas and ways that we are growing and expanding. This is incredibly relevant and incredibly necessary. Which brings me to this announcement here. You've seen this probably already pop up in our Patreon community. And I want to encourage as many as you can. Only invite people that you sense are vibing with the tribe. As a matter of fact, when you visit the new About section in Patreon, it tells you what our spiritual community is all about. And everybody is not ready to vibe with this tribe. But if you see that there are people in your life or people you're encountering who are deconstructing from religion and looking to embrace consciousness and spirituality and all those things along that line of our tribe, don't hesitate to invite them to the Patreon community. You can start out free, as well as share links from our gatherings with them. We are looking to connect with people who are like-spirited, like-hearted, and like-minded. So it's all right if they vibe, send them to the tribe. If they vibe, send them to the tribe. All right, let's get into some teaching today. And I'm gonna ask y'all one more time, how you doing? I want everybody that desires to respond, do so. How are you really doing right now? Talk to me in the comment section. How are you really doing right now? Real quickly, how are you really doing? To my assistants, John 14:10. You can put that text up on the screen, John 14:10. And in the midst of that, I'm asking you, how are you doing? Our resident therapist has put up, this is part 2, the oneness of me and God, the oneness of me and God. Well, how are you really doing? And if don't hesitate if you have any concerns or desire to communicate, to hit me up within the Patreon community. Leave me a message there. Some of you have my email. You can email me. Matter of fact, let's see, AG Green Enterprises at gmail.com or AG Green Ministries, I believe that is, at gmail.com. We'll eventually set up a new email for Revolution Inc. But you can always do that there or inbox me on social media. You're a part of the tribe. And I'm the leader of the tribe, and I'm here to serve you in any capacity that I can. All right, let's see. The oneness of me and God. Real quickly, anybody else? You good? Y'all good out there? How you feeling physically, emotionally, and in other ways? Are you good? You know, I'm just checking in on you. I know some of you have already responded, but I'm just making sure. Okay. Let's see here. Brenda says a little cold, but I'm doing fine. I got so much to be thankful for. All right. All right. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful statement. Okay. Thank you for that. And this should be the NIV. Don't you believe that I am in the Father and the Father is in me? The words I say to you, I do not speak on my own authority. Rather, it is the Father living in me who is doing his work. It's the Father living in me, the Father living in me who is doing his work. That's NIV. King James, believest thou not that I am in the Father and the Father in me? Question mark. The words that I speak unto you, I speak not of myself, but the Father that dwelleth in me. He doeth the works. He doeth the works. Ooh, this is quite a subject here, and we're in part 2 of this particular series that I've started, the oneness of me and God. Let's start out by practicing. I want you to type in the comment section, I am one with God, the divine, at all times. And you might say I'm one with source at all times. That's fine. I want you to type that in the comment section. I am one with God or the divine or the source at all times? Type that in the comment section. Type that in the comment section. Um, yes, yes. Type that in the comment section. And I want my assistance real quickly. Let's see. Let's see. John 17 and 21, right quick. John 17 and 21. John 17 and 21. Ooh, my goodness. The Bible, for example, is not just one book as it is presented to be. It is a collection of books. It is a collection of books written in different eras by different authors with different motives. And contrary to what was formed in these centuries after Yeshua left the planet, uh, there are a lot of doctrines and teachings that were developed from the individual collections of texts, putting it into a Bible, calling it one book, and then calling it one God. Again, there's a series on the Bible in Patreon right now, and there'll be more discussion about that moving forward. I said all that to say there are themes that have been developed by people who devoted themselves to a particular group and a particular group within a faith, within a religion, in this case within Christianity, who have developed themes, who have developed motifs, who have uh, developed doctrines, who've developed teachings. And there's also been a redefining of who Yeshua really is. And they have used these writings from the Old Testament to the New Testament to shape and hone a message that is an incorrect message about Yeshua. Now, again, what I find to be interesting, and I'm going to say this without getting too deeply into that, and this is my introductory statement, because there is a mission that Christianity has labeled Yeshua with. And remember, when you start studying, the only thing you got to do is Google it. There's a difference between the biblical, traditional Yeshua and the historic Yeshua. There is a historic Yeshua. There is a historic Jesus. What I want you to begin to be able to fathom, to be able to begin to grow and recognize is the real centerpiece of Yeshua's ministry, the real centerpiece of Yeshua's function in the earth. And John 17:21, first of all, is pretty antithetical to the separateness that is taught in present day Christianity as it relates to the creation from the creator. Yeshua specifically says in this text that they all may be one as thou, Father, art in me, and I in thee, that they may be one in us, that the world may believe thou hast sent me. This is Yeshua declaring in a prayer that you and I are one. And this spiritual metaphysical relationship we have is one where you are in me and I am in you. We are one. And I want you to support me, Father, in helping this species become aware that they are one with you, that you are not separate and apart from them. NIV, that all of them may be one. Father, just as you are in me and I am in you, may they also be in us, so that the world may believe that you have sent me. Yeshua believed he was a messenger, but he didn't come to teach some of the things that we see taught today. And I tell people, when you're doing your research and study, family, Okay, let me give you an example of something. Let me give you an example of something. What kind of sense does it make for Europeans, and I'm not being racist, I'm just talking, for Europeans to visit or discover ancient African teachings and turn around and become the master, the teacher, the authority on African spirituality and the principles of African spirituality? I'm going to ask you right now, does that make any sense? Does that make any sense that people who are not native to a land, have no connection really to the land other than they came out of us, but they are the authority? So they get to interpret everything going back 100,000 years and tell us what it means. Tell us the depth of it. Watch this. Give us the revelatory explanation. I'm going to ask you that question. Does that make any sense? Just like it didn't make no sense when I was young for Tarzan to be a white man swinging through the jungles of Africa and have mastery over the animals, and the native indigenous Africans didn't. That didn't make sense either. So you all are in agreement with me that it doesn't make sense. So can I tell y'all something? This is what the Christian community has done to the Jewish community. They have hijacked the Torah and said and inserted their God in it, and said and inserted their Messiah in it. And again, I start some new courses this week. I got scores and scores of courses from schools taught by scholars. I got a course on Judaism right now. I started, I'm gonna restart it this week because I'm recommitting myself to more study. But I've listened to several Jewish teachers, several Jewish rabbis, and they would tell you Isaiah 53 is not a messianic psalm. It's not a messianic, message in that for them. All of the stuff that Christianity said is Jesus in the text. The people who are responsible for writing the text are saying this is not what the author meant. This is not the context. All the stuff that this religion that came after us is saying is God, is saying is the real God, is saying is Yeshua, so forth and so on, is not. And that includes people who branched off from within the Jewish sect to become Christians themselves. So I just want you to kind of think about that. Just like it's, and don't get me wrong, people can come from other continents to Africa and to Jerusalem and study different things and become experts, but they're experts on native soil who are in touch with the culture, past and present, who have the spirit of their ancestors, and who are working with an inner power to know their history through information as well as through revelation. And it is an insult for you to think you can come from other places in the world and honestly tell those people this is what this means, and this is how you should believe, and this is according to the text I'm reading. I'm making sense, and I think y'all get what I'm saying today. Yeshua was an anomaly in the text. There's a lot of stuff he's teaching that's totally opposite of what's in the Torah, and totally opposite of philosophies that prevailed in the day that he existed. It's foreign. He's foreign. He's like an outsider. He doesn't fit. And that's why many of the narratives read about him are hostile narratives from amongst people in his generation, because he's not carrying on a state religion. He's not perpetuating the law and the Torah like his ancestors or his contemporaries did. His teaching comes from a totally different angle because of his connection and oneness with the source, with the creator, with the sustainer. And he is saying Right here in this text, you can try and use other texts if you want to. You can try and use other writers if you want to. Yeshua is saying in this text, they are supposed to be one. They're supposed to have a knowledge and awareness of their oneness. So this is John 17. We just looked at that. We're going back to John 14, our thematic text. I'm going to pick up, revisit, or highlight again, or through repetition, bring up a few points I made last week. I know we got into some deep water, and bring us current again with some new teaching. But I really want you to absorb that some of what has been created as a reason why Yeshua came to the planet is not the real reason. And what his role and function is in history is a narrative and a story that has been crafted skillfully over a few thousand years by groups, people groups who had their own agendas. Let's go. Type it in the comment section. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. So we're looking at the metaphysical view, the metaphysical perspective of John chapter 14, verse 10. I am in the Father, and the Father in me. And again, you just read from John 17. You just saw the text from John 17, where Yeshua is saying, I'm already one, I'm one with you, and I want these people that I'm leading and serving to be one with you as well. Charles Fillmore interprets this as a pattern of consciousness. I mentioned this last week. This is kind of a recap. Yeshua, the Christ, is the Father, and the Father is in man. Yeshua the Christ is in the Father, excuse me. Yeshua the Christ is in the Father, and the Father is in man. Unity's correspondence teaching frames it. The Father mind is in its Son idea, and the idea is always in the parent mind. These are one, and yet the Father is greater than the Son. And when you look up the word logos in the Greek and study out, it's related to the modern day word logic. Okay. And there are, of course, multiple different definitions, but there's a common thread with it. A thought or an idea in terms of logos, a way of thinking, a systematic way of estimating, a systematic way of of exerting and exercising and utilizing your intellect. Okay. Let me move on, because I know that kind of trips some of y'all up. The Father mind is in the Son idea. I'll get a chance to explore themes like that later. Metaphysically, the Father equals divine mind, source, infinite spirit. Divine mind, source, infinite spirit. Divine mind, source, infinite spirit. The Son equals the divine idea of humanity, the Christ in self, in each person. It in equals, excuse me, the word in equals not spatial, spatial, but ontological and conscious. Ontological and conscious. So what am I saying? There is a connection. Ontology deals with being. There's a connection of being, and there's a connection of consciousness. We as spirit beings, we might be, in a sense, tethered to this body, but we're not necessarily in this body the way we think we're in it. Lord have mercy. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole today. But the connection is through consciousness and through being. So in other words, your being as a divine spiritual species, a part of your being's DNA, spiritual DNA, divine DNA, is a connection to the Creator, and this connection is one in consciousness that you already have as a spirit being, whether you know it or not. Okay, it's not spatial but ontological, and conscious, like thought in mind and mind in thought, like thought in mind and mind in thought. What I want you to understand when I say in, I'm saying that the Father, the creator, the source, is already a part of your divine being. And every divine being has consciousness. The creator is a part of that consciousness. Now, what I want you to understand is you can be conscious and unaware. I'm going to say it again. You can be conscious. It's like now you're listening to me. You are operating from a certain level of consciousness, and there are levels of consciousness. Like people who are watching me right now and viewing me right now, not everybody is viewing me from the same level of consciousness. Good to see Linda, who's in our Patreon community today. You can be conscious, but not operating from the same level of consciousness. There are states of consciousness. I want you to understand that. So this is why people can hear various different things when listening to one speaker or reading a different book. Because, and when I say consciousness, yes, intellect is a part of that consciousness. But also when I'm talking about levels of consciousness, I'm talking about access to the divine mind. I'm talking about access to the Father mind. I'm talking about access to the unlimited God that is fused and hardwired in your being already. A person's access to knowledge and to wealth and to the wisdom of wealth, or the wealth of wisdom, or a wealth of wisdom, has everything to do with their spiritual journey. So when we talk about consciousness, we're not just talking about being alive. We're not just talking about being plugged in. I'm also talking about awareness. And your level of awareness, yes, is based on what you know. And in that knowing, it's also based on your submission to God, your submission to the Father, your submission to the spiritual dimension, your submission to this spiritual and metaphysical world and metaphysical universe. Again, your submission to the source. If you keep blocking the source by fixating and focusing on natural, tangible concepts, natural, tangible rules, the natural order of things, you are limiting your access to worlds, plural, beyond this world, which means you're limiting your access to knowledge beyond this world. Do you realize everybody who's watching me now could learn how to leave their bodies, could learn how to come out of their bodies and travel, come out of their bodies and visit people, come out of their bodies and work miracles, come out of their bodies and experience higher levels of supernatural things, or they could ascend in consciousness, ascend in consciousness to a level of authority and power where they actively are healing themselves. They're actively and proactively and intentionally co-creating their reality. They're actively and proactively empowering people effectively. It's like you're sitting in your city, healing somebody in another city. And again, this is a form of technology that is used in religion, but there are so many limitations and restrictions placed on it based on the rules and regulations by the said religions. Ooh, am I saying too much right now? Talk back to me. Y'all quiet. You must be really, really listening to what I'm saying today. So the level of the level of consciousness, the level of awareness, the level of even of that you have ascended to, the realms that you're walking into have everything to do with your ability to submit to the teachings, the lessons, the guidance of God, of the source, of the creator. And let me tell you something. I don't want to get stuck on in. I don't want to get stuck on in, but when you have been programmed like we've been programmed, and I do like what Paul says in his writings, to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Now, again, what people define as spiritually minded is not necessarily the same. But to operate from your spiritual mind, to operate from your quote unquote spiritual senses, to operate quote unquote from spiritual consciousness, to operate quote unquote from spiritual awareness, mhm, to operate from this depth, from this degree, or from depths and degrees, from within the divine, from within the source, family, causes you to have access to more of your own divinity, to more of your own power, to more of what's available to you in the universe. And again, I've shared these stories. I know they sound like concoctions, but they're all over the place. There are people who have visited other versions of themselves and learn how to play the piano, learn how to paint, learn how to do all these other things. While we got people teaching you, you got to beg to do stuff, and you got to work hard until you almost faint, and you got to have 3 to 4 jobs just to get by if it's necessary. There are people, watch this, who have access to another level of knowledge to understand and recognize that there are all kinds of things available if they allow themselves to access it that will totally change the landscape of their lives, change the landscape of their reality. But you got to ask yourself the question. You got to ask yourself the question. Number one, how high do I want to go? How high do I want to go? Number two, how aware do I want to be of the creator, of God, in terms of my relationship? And last but not least, do you just want to live an average, mundane life? I don't want to live an average, mundane life. And hear what I'm saying. What we define as average and mundane, I'm not talking about material things, because there are monks and other spiritual people, some of the most powerful people on the planet, and they don't have a lot of possessions. But guess what? They get whatever they want, whenever they want it, and they are selective about what they manifest and bring into physical existence. They are like alchemists. They are alchemists. I'm not talking about material things. I'm talking about being able to control your life to the extent where you have peace at all times, joy when you want it, contentment when you want it, where you're able to live and move, watch this, and have the being of the Father, have the being of the Christ mind consistently and intentionally, without thinking you've got to participate in the drama of the world, in the confusion of the world. Hear what I'm saying today. I was having a spirited conversation with my daughter yesterday, and I was just sharing with her, you've got to be careful of the sources of information you expose yourself to, because we are taught that the stuff you hear on the news, you should align your life with what you hear, or you should measure your life by what you hear. In other words, if they say the sky is falling, they're saying to you, well, you ought to believe that the sky is falling in your life too. Panic. Do something to save yourself. Do something to help yourself, kind of stuff. And before you know it, you're talking doom and gloom. And again, family, again, people will accuse you of being, oh, you just ultra spiritual, or, you just always want to put this spin on it. And this is just reality. And they don't understand what you've grown to understand. You are creating this reality. You are co-creating it at every moment. So she's talking about what's going on politically. She's talking about my sweet daughter. We're talking about ICE and other things like this. And she got the message at the end. But I was sharing with her, don't go too far to the left. Don't go too far to the right. In other words, I'm trying to help her to understand that you still have power, authority, and control. Don't give that away to a news source, a news cycle. Don't give that away. Don't allow it to shape you into thinking that now it creates a degree of difficulty in my life because this is happening over here and this is happening over there. And again, that's how the natural world is taught to function. That's how the carnal, natural mind works. Remember the Hermetic principle, as above, okay, so below. We live from what? The inside out. Type that in the comment section. I live from the inside out. Listen, and if I'm living from the inside, then what's inside of me? The Father is inside of me. The Christ mind is inside of me. And if I'm truly, truly living from the inside out, then the same power that created worlds is the same power that's a part of my being. I am inseparable from the Father. Wow, I feel this. Almighty, I thank you that this is penetrating deep into the hearts and the minds of people and transforming them and renewing their minds. Hallelujah. It is so. And so it is. Yes, when you start talking like this, people won't commiserate. People want you to commiserate in their misery. When you're learning these new principles, Yeshua decided, he says, you're in the world. The text says you're in the world, but not of the world. I love that. He also said on one occasion, I am from above, you're from beneath. And he's trying to share with them this perspective, this mindset that you're operating with is a natural, carnal, fleshly mindset. It is not a Christ mind. It is not a divine mind. It is a matrix mind. I kind of got stuck there. So in John 14:10, Yeshua is describing the archetypal relation of God and the Christ self. The source is in the expression, and the expression is in the source. You are invited into that same consciousness. You in me, and I in you. I love it. I love it. I love it. Again, you and I invited into that same consciousness. I'm going to say it again. You and I are invited into that same consciousness. And I heard a successful person say, a couple of successful people say years ago, they said, what's the difference between me and so-and-so? They might name another person or the person that don't have. And you know what they said? They said it's how I use my 24 hours. It's how I use my 24 hours. In other words, they were saying that they strategically, I feel God, they strategically optimize how they use the time they have in a 24-hour cycle. What I'm saying to you, how conscious you are depends on how you use your opportunities. And they were saying within a 24-hour cycle, they have the same 24 hours that I do. But I just decided that I was going to do this with my 24 hours, which meant if it led to a deal, if it led to opportunities, if it led to more access, if it meant more studying, more recording, more rehearsal, whatever it meant, they were saying, I have arrived to this place because of how I submitted myself to the process and decided to optimize my existence. You get a chance to optimize your existence. And again, you get a chance to choose to be below average, to be average, to be above average, to be excellent, to be great. And again, great is not attached to wealth. Great is attached to how you maximize your life force while you are here. How you maximize your life on this journey and in this journey. Am I making any sense to anybody? You have an invitation. I want you to type this in the comment section. The source has invited you into higher consciousness. Type that in the comment section. The source has invited me, personalize it, has invited me into higher consciousness. Type that in the comment section. The source has invited me into higher consciousness. Wow. The source has invited me into higher consciousness. Yeah, yeah. You have an invitation. The invitation is not just for me. The invitation is not just for other people you consider to have mastered these things and consider to be great. This is an invitation that has been extended to everybody. And again, I know you're used to exclusivity that's taught and preached in religions. And I know you're used to people telling you how much you got to beg and all this other kind of stuff. That's not it, family. You have the same invitation Yeshua had. The question is, will you accept it? Or will you be, again, like that character in the Matrix who decided he would just betray the real world, the true reality, just to enjoy himself in the bliss, watch this, of ignorance, living a high life in the Matrix? It is possible to live a high life in the Matrix and live a meager life in true spiritual reality. But we have to make the choice. The red or the blue pill. It's a real decision. Did you catch that? This is not in my notes. I'm just flowing right now. The red or the blue pill, family, is a real decision. The red or the blue pill. And I know because sometimes, can I be honest? Sometimes on my journey, I've said this to a few people. Sometimes I'm thinking, man, maybe I should just go back into the matrix because some more enemies going to be created. Some more separation is going to take place. And the way I'm viewing the world is so different. And it's like, there's not a lot of people I consider to be a part of my intellectual and spiritual and metaphysical tribe anymore. And it's like I could go back into that matrix and I could have more money, I could have more engagements, and as things continue to develop, I could have more notoriety. I could do it. Just, there are times I have those thoughts. Is it worth it? And then the tension that's created in you when you're deconstructing, the tension that's created in you, as you have exited the matrix and decided, like in the Matrix movie, that you're going to become a resident of Zion and have to deal, watch this, with the challenges and hardships of a reality, a super reality, a superior reality, which may not initially be as grandiose and convenient as what you have experienced in the matrix. My Lord, my Lord, my Lord. Y'all quiet. I need some feedback real quickly before I go on. What are you thinking so far? Talk back to me. What are you thinking so far? I'm taking my time. I know I was supposed to have been on number 3 or 4 by now, but I just sense I need to just take my time through this section. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what you're feeling. Yes, I've been tempted to return to the matrix. Yes, of course. It's easier there. It's what I've known all my life. Okay. Listen, when we are, from a brain standpoint, forming neural pathways, which are based on new thoughts, new behaviors, and new ideas, let me tell you, it's uncomfortable for a while. It's very uncomfortable to shift. I'm living in the discomfort of that still, and more as more things are revealed to me. It's like, man, you just like feel so comfortable in what you know. Watch this. Even if what you know is limiting, even if what you know has a misery attached to it, there's still like this familiarity with it for me. But I have to constantly remind myself that I've been led out for a purpose. I've been led out for a greater purpose. I've been led out for a purpose, which is part of the reason I came to this planet. Okay. And sometimes I struggle with it. Do I want the ridicule? Do I want to, wow, this is I was used to manifesting things. Watch this, watch this. It's kind of like, let me say this. It's kind of like you are living in this cup, and in this cup you were powerful, and in this cup, you knew, so to speak, the boundaries of the cup. And you're used to living in this cup. Okay. But then one day the creator challenges you, and tells you, I want you to move out of the cup into an ocean. I want you to move out of the cup into an unlimited expanse. That's what I want you to do. Listen, it's scary, it's frightening, because it's like I can hear myself echoing in this cup. I'm inside the cup and I can hear my voice bouncing back to me, meaning that I can give decrees and commands and hear it coming back to me. And sometimes hear the results, see the results using this scripture, using this word, using this thinking process. But no, I've got to unlearn that. I got to realize some of that is religion, some of that's a spiritual principle, which means if it's a spiritual principle, it'll actually work. But I don't have to do this, that, or the other to achieve that anymore. It's foreign to me. And then when I'm trying to learn how to exercise these principles, operating in this evolved mindset, it's weird and it's strange, especially when initially it seems like I can't hear my voice no more. or I can't hear that voice no more, or I'm not getting that kind of result I used to getting. Come on, let's take a breath, family. Let's take a breath. I got a tear in my eye. Let's take a breath. This is ministering to somebody. Come on, let's take another deep breath. Hold it. Let's release it. Let's do it again one more time. Release. I feel the source. I feel the spirit. I sense it so strong. So don't be discouraged. If you're having discouraging thoughts, don't be discouraged if remnants of that old you, that old programming is constantly gnawing at the new you. Don't be discouraged. Hold on. Continue to move forward. Continue to advance. Continue to trust God. Continue to trust the source. Continue to trust your spirit guides. One day I'll get into the fact that everybody has spirit guides, not just angels, but spirit guides. That's another discussion. He says, I do not speak from myself, is what Yeshua said in this text. John 14:10. From a metaphysical perspective, this means this is not the ego talking. Okay, this is non-egoic talk, non-egoic speech. In other words, the self Yeshua refuses to speak from is the limited personality. He speaks from the indwelling Christ, the divine mind. Family, this is a battle every day, even for me now. And I know sometimes we watch people and we think it looks so easy to them. Listen, it's not. Yeah, it gets to a point where riding a bike is easier than the first time you got on the bike. But it doesn't mean that there sometimes from time to time you won't fall or won't get shaky on that bike. The challenge is family, recognizing the limited personality. The challenge is controlling the limited personality to be able to speak from the indwelling Christ or the divine mind like Yeshua did. That is the challenge. And we the ego wants to know what it knows, and the ego wants to hold on to what's familiar to it. And sometimes when the ego is challenged, it gets defensive, it gets territorial, and self-preservation kicks in. No, I'm comfortable with this limited me. It's not serving me well. It's not serving the person well, but I get comfortable in it. Because for me, it's been my truth. It's been a reality, and it has produced some manifestation. But then God shows up. The source arises in your awareness one day and says, okay, you need to love everybody. I'm giving you an example that says you need to stop looking down on people because of their sexuality. Whoa, I just said a word. I just said a word. Or I could use numerous examples, a multiplicity of examples. It's challenging. The limited you just wants to continue in a state of familiarity and just be limited and not expand. That's a challenge for me. And it's like it continues to want to see life through its lenses, the egoic lens. It continues to want to define life through egoic lenses. Ooh, 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 ooh. So-and-so them said, so-and-so them said, my professor said, the doctor said, All contributes to the egoic, the natural egoic lens, the personality you've developed. That's not your spiritual divine mind, your spiritual divine personality. It is a part of what we call the carnal mind, the flesh, something that we've developed in this iteration, in this form of our being. It's limited. It thinks it knows about money. It thinks it knows about career. It thinks it knows the best about job situations. It thinks it knows the best about raising children. It thinks it knows the best about relationships. It thinks it knows the best about health. It thinks it knows the best about God. We've been programmed. That ego has been fed, 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 fed. And when that ego is challenged to change, and watch this, there's a part of us, that divine mind, that is us, that's saying, that's sending messages all the time. Fix it, change it, can't operate like this, can't flow like this, need to dissolve this. And the egoic mind will fight. No, no, you just making me, you make me good. You just want me, The text says be transformed by what? Finish the statement for me. Be transformed by what? Type that in the comment section. What does it say? Finish this for me. Be transformed by what? Be transformed by what? Talk to me. Be transformed by what? Can anybody finish that scripture for me? Be transformed by what? Thank you. The renewing of your mind. And then it goes on to say that ye may prove that which is what? The good and the perfect will of God of the source. Thank you, Linda, for typing it on Patreon as well. We think we know what the Creator wants. We think we know what the Creator wills through these religious lenses, these religious texts. But it's egoic. It's limited. There's some ego in all of this stuff. And I love that text because our minds, the text is telling you, you can't know what God really wants. You can't know what the universe really wants. You can't know what the divine really wants unless you transform and renew your mind. And we think that that's about the Shana part of us. No, that's about how you, as a divine spiritual species of being, master this reality, experience this reality, move through this world, create and co-create. And it covers things, like the manifestation of abundance. It covers things like joy. It covers things like health. It covers things like wealth. It covers things like love. I feel that. I feel that. Sometimes I don't want to do the work. Sometimes I don't want to learn my lesson well. Sometimes I'm just rebellious and resistant and stubborn. And the thing that keeps me going is that I have this unrelenting desire, this unrelenting heart and love, this endless, bottomless conviction about God, about the divine, about the Creator, that keeps saying to me, if you're going to evolve, if you're going to reach your peak of potential, if you're going to walk in intimacy with God, according to the true desires of the divine mind, then you got to let some stuff go. You got to realize, as I've been telling my young 10-year-old, you don't know everything. I had to just tell him that recently. Let me keep it going. For metaphysical Christians, this becomes the pattern of inspired speech. The more one lets go of ego, the more one's words can be vehicles for divine ideas. Man, I'm talking to myself today. Ego has decided how the world is ran. Ego has decided to define who I am in this universe. The ego has decided to define my worth. The ego has decided to define my readiness. The ego defines, if we allow it, all kinds of stuff. At some point in time, family, you and I have to realize that when we let go of the carnal, when we let go of the sense ruled interpretations, then our words do become vehicles for divine ideas. Who wants their life, period, to become a vehicle for divine ideas? Let me see. Who wants their life, period, to become a vehicle for divine ideas? If it's you, type me. I do personally. Let me type it in the comment section. Me, I want my life to become a vehicle for divine ideas. The divine ideas of love, not just loving my wife, my partner, my children, but loving fellow divine species in this physical world. Loving them how? Setting up a free health clinic. Loving them how? Feeding those who don't have enough food, who are food insecure. Loving them how? Providing programs for job training. Loving them how? Providing safe places and spaces for the homeless. Loving them how? Establishing schools that teach true spirituality and help people elevate to higher levels of consciousness to master this physical construct and live fulfilling lives. I can go on and on and on and on and on. This is how I want that I want to be a vehicle for divine ideas that truly represent the creator that is nothing but pure, unadulterated love. The only fighting I want to do is for love. I don't want to fight for foolishness. I don't want to fight for drama. I don't want to fight in future. I just want to, if I'm going to fight, it's so that the heart of God, the will of God, the presence of God, the presence of the source, the mind of the source is revealed, is experienced, is known. Let me look at my time. I lost track of time. I want to be a vehicle. I want to be a vehicle. I want my whole life to be a vehicle. And I want to make sure that I am so aligned with our source, with the spirit, that people around me can feel it. People around me know it. People around me are experiencing God's will of love, God's will of provision, God's will of acceptance, God's will of forgiveness, God's will of unconditional love, God's will of assistance, God's will of miracles manifesting in them, God's will of understanding and knowing that they are one with the divine, one with the creator source and sustainer. God's will for them to know as individualized aspects of him that I am power. We, I'm finishing up here. Fillmore connects the Father and me to what he calls the inner chamber, secret place of the Most High. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I would say of the Lord, He is my refuge, He is my strength, He is my fortress. The inner point where we consciously meet God. That's the inner chamber where we as spirit who already are the host of the divine being, we're already hosts of the creator, source, and sustainer. And then in another sense, he or it is hosting us. It's hosting us. It's hosting us. Yeah, it's hosting us. I want to connect to the Father. I want to live from that inner chamber. I want to live from the high place, the higher places. I want to live in the secret place of the Most High. I want to be aware of God's voice, the Creator's voice, speaking and flowing through me at all times. I want to be aware. I want to know, not through just a feeling or a sensation physically. It doesn't have to be a presence that my central nervous system detects. I just want to consistently know within myself that I'm loved and so hooked up and so connected and so supported and so appreciated and so valued. Yes, and so powerful and so trusted by the source, by the spirit. I want to experience that. You get tired of feeling separate. You get tired of feeling devalued. You get tired of feeling like you're alone. You get tired of feeling like you can't do. You get tired of feeling like it's just all up to me from a physical perspective. But when we become more aware of that place where we meet the Father, that inner chamber, we'll know that we have infinite power and infinite strength with Him, through Him. We'll know that no matter what we did last night and no matter what we do tomorrow, He never will leave nor forsake us. We will know that the oneness with the Creator is real at all times. That when I'm not at my best, the Creator is always at its best. When I'm feeling some kind of way about me, the source loves me unlimited. I want us to take this time to know in this oneness with God. Let me say it like this. My father took a phrase from the generation he was raised in, the South, the country where they had farm animals, horses, and cows, hogs, chickens. And he used to make the statement that sometimes people would act like a cow looking at a new gate. And what that meant was the cow didn't recognize the different structure, the upgraded changed gate, because it wasn't the same. It was something it had never seen before. So instead of like casually walking by it like it used to, it would just stop and stare, trying to investigate and figure out what this is. This kind of teaching will make you stare at the divine. It's not the same. It's shifted. It's different. It changed. It would make you stare at love. Watch this. Some of us have never seen the source this way before. What? I'm one? What? No matter what I do, it loves me? What? There's no dispatch to hell? What? I am accepted? What? Some of us are looking at love like a cow looking at a new gate because we've never seen it before. We heard about it. We thought we had it. We thought we experienced it, but we're looking at this and we're skeptical. We're turning sideways. And it's God in that love and love in God. But we don't know that because all our stuff is conditional. All our stuff comes with strings attached that is God, performance, or love, performance. It feels different. I got to look at this for a while. I got to walk past this gate. I got to test it. I'm going to run my head against it. I'm going to turn around and kick it. The cow may even decide to crap on the gate to see what it's going to do. But it's divine. It's divine. It's supernatural. It's from the source. Whoever the spirit is talking to. It's time for you to accept that you are failures. And you are not a failure. You're not your mistakes. You are not a mistake. It's time to accept you are not your physical body. You live in it. And it's time to accept that you are worthy. You are worthy. You are worthy. When your hair is done and it's not done, you're worthy. Whether you got a big nose or a small nose, you're worthy. Whether you're high level or deep level chocolate, you're worthy. Despite your sex, whether you have a vagina or a penis, you're worthy. Whether you're heterosexual or homosexual, you are worthy. You are loved. You are one with the creator, source, and sustainer. Whether you struggle financially or not, whether you did well in school or didn't do well in school, whether you drive a new car or a hoopty, you are worthy. Whether you're living on top of the financial hill or feel like you're living in the valley of monetary despair, you are worthy. You are one. You are one. Hug yourself because you're embracing not only yourself, but the source that's in you and with you and a part of you. You are hugging the source as you hug yourself. And I want you to say to me, say this to me, say this to yourself. I love me and I love the spirit. I love the source. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Listen, perfect love has no fear. There is no fear in love. Listen to what I'm saying. People, just as people have expected folks to leave them because they've never been with somebody who genuinely is love. There are times we have expected God to leave us. We've been told he separated himself from us because of sin and because of misdeeds. But God can't leave you. The creator can't leave your being. It is a part of your being. It is attached to your being. It is one with you. One day, I want us to get to the place that not only is our love for ourselves sufficient, but the love of the source is so sufficient for us that when other people don't love us, when other people disagree with us, when other people clown us, that we have such a deep footing, such grounding, such roots in the knowingness of the love of the Creator, that even if we can't rest in our own love, which we should, we can rest in the love of the Creator. And that love could come directly from the Creator or come through another person to us. But that we can say within ourselves, I know one thing. Love is in this person, or love is in this situation, or love is over here, or love exists now. And it's merely a sign of your worthiness and your oneness. Almighty, the divine architect of all, the creator of the universe, planets, solar systems, the whole of the cosmos, the leader of the great spiritual leaders who've come down through the annals and corridors of time. Thank you for the explosion of awareness today. Thank you for the explosion of love right now in this moment. And thank you that we know we are one with you, and that you chose to make us one with you. And I thank you for the courage to be, the courage to accept that I am loved and I am one with the source. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We remember the name of Yeshua, his power, his consciousness, his way. It is so. And so it is. As some would say, Amen, others would say Amen, then others would say Ashe. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yep, I agree with some of the other prophets and teachers, especially the spiritual and metaphysical ones, that for those who submit, for those who yield in this calendar year, you are going to reset, you're going to recharge, and you're going to launch forth in levels of success, levels of love and joy and peace and fulfillment that you've dreamt about, that a version of you visited you and said to you in a vision, that is being initiated in this year. Submit to it, your oneness with God. Submit to the transformation, and you'll see that this is the truth. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Tell me how you're feeling, and I'm going to release you today. And I encourage you, if you're led to give an offering, what we call a seed, to plant something in my life and into this platform's life, by all means do it, and do it quickly. Tell me what you thought about the presentation today. Tell me what you thought. Did this message, did this word resonate with you? Did it confirm some things? Did it lift some things? There's a part of me that just wants to sit in silence and just bask in the presence and the anointing and the glow. But I know I'm prepared to log off here in a few minutes. But I prophesied from the divine. I prophesied from the future of your timeline that better is here right now. Better is here in your headspace. Better is here in the shifting of your paradigms. Better is here in the shifting of your health. You are embodying the identity of the one who has it all. I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful. Linda says, thank you, Apostle, for this explosive teaching on today. She's watching us on Patreon. We appreciate you, Linda. Love you dearly. Thank you for your support down through the years. Anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else? Like Krista says, this message really hit me. It's confirmation for sure, feeling empowered. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much. Monica says, feeling renewed, feeling hopeful, feeling encouraged, knowing all things work out in my favor. Thank you. Resident therapist says, ask good questions. Changing your mindset to the oneness of God is challenging. Yes, 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 absolutely, sir. We've been taught we got to earn that. We got to plead and beg for that. That's what we've been taught. You just have to submit to it. Open your heart. That's all you got to do. Know and believe. Watch the comfort level rise. The ease of hearing the voice and interacting with the voice will improve and grow. Thank you so much. She says, yes, needed word. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mystical says, can't put it into words. Thank you so much. Thank you. Blessings are in, with, through, and upon every viewer and every listener. I bid you shalom, shalom, peace, wholeness, and prosperity, nothing missing and nothing broken. It is so, and so it is. Thank you for being a part of this journey of awakening and transformation. Support the light through Revolution Inc. by liking, sharing, and giving. Cash App $AG Green and $AG Green Enterprises. You can also give by Zelle. Anthony G. Green at hotmail.com is what you use. And Chime $Anthony/Green/336. If you haven't joined as a member of Patreon, now is a good time. We're a spiritual community that's evolving, transforming, and ascending. If you like what you have seen and heard, connect with us. It's time to vibe with your tribe. Also, take time to visit theaggreen.com for the latest developments and just explore divinespeciesshop.com for spiritual tools to elevate your life. Your love and support helps keep this mission alive.